He's not right now, but Jordan Love deserves to be one of the front runners for MVP right now.
You are Locked On Packers, your daily Green Bay Packers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Packers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Peter Bukowski, and I cover the Packers for The Leap, a newsletter I would love for you to subscribe to. Follow me on Twitter, Peter_Bukowski. Follow the podcast on Twitter, Locked On Packers. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to the podcast, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you find podcasts, you will find Locked On Packers, the #1 Packers podcast on the internet, and the show for fans who know what happened, they want to know why and how. Today's episode brought to you by our friends at Gametime. Right now, download the Gametime app. Create an account and use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $20 off your first purchase. Jordan Love, by any other standard, in any other season, would be maybe the MVP favorite, and certainly one of the favorites in the MVP discussion through almost half a season here. And for some reason, he's not. You need to be a top 1 or 2 seed to be the MVP in the NFL. That's just generally how it has been. The Packers are the 1 seed, the only one-loss team in the NFC. And if you look at the guys ahead of him on the odds, Patrick Mahomes, he's got more losses. Josh Allen, they lost to the Falcons, for crying out loud. Like, it's not like none of these other teams have any blemishes. It's not like there's some other team that's just setting the world on fire. And Patrick Mahomes was plus 115 before Monday night. Threw 2 interceptions and the odds didn't move. The Bills have 2 losses. I think Drake May is who I would vote for if I had to vote right now today. They have 2 losses. Daniel Jones has shorter MVP odds than Jordan Love, but come on, be serious. If Daniel Jones has that team 7-1, what would an actual NFL quarterback look like in that Colts offense? That's being a little uncharitable, but for as well as Daniel Jones is playing, we know what Daniel Jones is. We know he's not an MVP. We know he's not the straw that stirs the drink there. He is a replacement level quarterback in an offense right now in a system on a team that's playing awesome football that does not need MVP caliber play. And in addition to being on a really good team, what you need is a terrific statistical resume. Jordan Love has an impeccable statistical resume. And in fact, if you go back over the years, the only 2 quarterbacks to win MVP and not be tops in EPA per play, I know people want to scoff at EPA per play, are Cam Newton and Lamar Jackson. Jordan Love leads the NFL right now in EPA per play, in EPA per game, EPA per dropback, win probability added per dropback. What more do you want? In must-pass situations, he is the #1 quarterback in the NFL. That means it's not just early down scheme god stuff. It's not just Matt LaFleur in his bag, and we know that that's true. And let's not forget, Patrick Mahomes has gotten a lot of credit for, he's playing without Rashee Rice and the receivers. Well, Christian Watson just played his first game. He's played 1 game so far. The Packers are 5-1-1 with an elite offense. Jordan Love has elite numbers. The #1 quarterback in every statistic from the pocket has lower turnover-worthy play rate than Patrick Mahomes, than Jared Goff. #1 in all of the clean pocket stuff. Those are the sticky quarterback metrics. #1 in everything right now. And yet, he's not getting the credit for whatever reason. When he's not being pressured, his completion percentage is 86%, almost 89% if you include drops. A 135.8 passer rating from a clean pocket. He has been the best quarterback from a clean pocket in the NFL and just been the most statistically efficient quarterback in the NFL this season. No Christian Watson until Sunday. We saw what that does to the offense, but he didn't have that before that. Jaden Reed played 1 game and was playing with a broken foot in limited reps. Lost his right tackle, his Pro Bowl caliber right tackle for multiple games. They've been playing, whack-a-mole, trying to put together an offensive line. The run game hasn't been great. Josh Jacobs is scoring in the red zone, but that's about it. The down-to-down efficiency of the run game hasn't been very good. Your special teams is a mess. This Packers scoring offense could be even better if Brandon McManus could have made some field goals on Sunday. It would be even better if Matt LaFleur would go for some fourth downs a little bit more often, if they'd throw the ball a little bit more on early downs. Maybe he'd have the really gaudy numbers. And yet, when you look at, you want the old school stats. Okay, fine. Even Jordan Love has the good old school stats too. 4th in yards per attempt. Like these are really good numbers. 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's not turning the ball over. He's making big time throw after big time throw. And you want the old school stats? Okay, passer rating, Jordan Love, top 5 in passer rating too, despite the fact that he's pushing the ball further downfield than basically everyone else. Drake May excluded. Drake May is the only other guy that I want to have a conversation about. And we're not going to have it on the show, but that's the only other guy that I see as relevant to this discussion. Matthew Stafford's been playing well. The Rams are playing well. He's got Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. And we all know everyone agrees Sean McVay is that guy. I think Matt LaFleur is a really good coach, but you being the public, can't say, well, Matt LaFleur, he's not a top 10 coach. He's not on the Sean McVay level. And also say, well, Matt LaFleur gives all of these advantages to Jordan Love. That's not how this works. That is incoherent to make that argument. So this has to be something that if this continues for Jordan Love, and he's not going to play like he did on Sunday every game, but if they keep winning, it will change. And so maybe me sitting here and having this hissy fit is silly, because I'm sure Jordan Love would rather just keep winning. Like if they go, 15-1-1, he's not going to care if he wins MVP, though. If they go 15-1-1, he's going to win MVP. With these numbers, completing 70% of his passes, 8.5 yards an attempt, prime time game, Sunday Night Football, Jordan Love is unbelievable. He's going to have some more primetime opportunities. Monday Night Football against the Eagles. There's big time, the Island game against the Lions on Thanksgiving. Like there's going to be pressure on these games that the Packers have to win anyway. I understand the Micah Parsons part of this. And that is the answer, by the way. Is that Micah Parsons, that trade was made. It made the Packers Super Bowl favorites, and they haven't looked like Super Bowl favorites after week 1. They are the victims of their own competency in that they looked so good week 1. Everyone is holding them to that standard since then, and they haven't met that standard. And that's true, but in the absence of another compelling case, like there's just no way, to me, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and Daniel freaking Jones can all be ahead of Jordan Love when Jordan Love has been the more productive player on a team that has won more games. Like what? And we know, because we watch, it's not all just schemed up nonsense. He makes the high level throws. He has the big time throws, the Pro Football Focus charts that Love. And he doesn't have the turnover worthy plays. For all of the complaining about the turnover worthy plays, he has a better turnover worthy play rate this year than Patrick Mahomes, who is the favorite. So you just can't make that argument. The Chiefs have looked really good this year and really good lately. Are we just going to write off the fact that through 3-4 weeks, everyone was like, the dynasty is over? Like, what are we talking about? Jordan Love had one game that he did not play great in and threw a late interception that cost them. Did we forget how the Chiefs started the season? Does that stuff just not count? If you're going to hold game 1 against the Packers and not reaching that level again, don't we have to hold it against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs? Don't we have to hold the Falcons game against Josh Allen? And the fact that they, by the way, have 2 losses and he is still, like, Jordan Love clears Josh Allen in every statistical category this season. I mean, I understand that the Bills don't have world beaters at receiver either, but that offensive line is awesome. They move bodies in the run game. I don't think Josh Allen has been better than Jordan Love this year. I think I said it. I said it last year. I thought he was the MVP last year. I think he's been the best quarterback or the second best quarterback in the NFL over the last 3 seasons. I think Jordan Love has been better than him this year. I think the 3 best quarterbacks in the NFL this season have been Drake May, Patrick Mahomes, Jordan Love, and you put Justin Herbert right there. You could have put Dak Prescott right there, but he's got like too many clunkers so far. Jordan Love has 1 clunker. And it was a game where the Browns defense just absolutely took the game over. And by the way, he led the game-winning drive, and they had the field goal blocked. If they could just protect on a field goal, the Packers would be 6-0-1. And if they could just protect on an extra point, they might be 7-0. And then what are we talking about? The Packers are 2 kicks away from being 7-0. Jordan Love leads the league in all the efficiency metrics, all the nerd stats, all the stuff that we've cared about from time immemorial with MVPs. And he's like 6th. It's ridiculous. It's time to put some respect on Jordan Love's name. Lily Zhao from Fox 6 next on Locked On Packers. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride, with more IIH's Top Safety Pick Plus awards than anyone else. You can feel the Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, from the metallic accents to available Nappa leather upholstery. You can make everyday drives feel like anything but, from smooth handling to intuitive controls. Like NFL players, Mazda sweats every detail, because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. NFL season, full swing now. And honestly, there's nothing better than being in the stadium surrounded by the fans cheering for your team. And let's be honest, getting tickets can be a hassle between queues, login screens, prices jumping at checkout. It can be frustrating. That's why you have to use Gametime, the app that takes and gives the advantage back to the fans. It's easy, it's fast, and it's backed by the Gametime guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time at the best price. The app makes it super simple, super easy. You can even see the exact view from your seat in the app before buying. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket. Go download Gametime today. Jordan Love showed out in front of his ex. His ex mentor was what I meant to say. The Green Bay Packers took care of Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday night. And that laugh you heard, our pal Lily Zhao from Fox 6 in Milwaukee. Lily, the revenge game is over. It is done with. And it was the revenge body that won. Zhao, how you doing?
Peter, outside of, kind of lasting the full 18, Dodgers, Blue Jays, if anyone else stayed up, outside of lasting that entire game and some more in the morning, I'm feeling somewhat rejuvenated with some coffee. So I'm doing well. And yeah, that was a great game on Sunday night. We'll delve into it, but I am doing well outside of no sleep. So how you doing?
I'm good. Maybe you need some, Aaron Rodgers longevity treatments to get you moving here. And we appreciate you joining us anyway. I understand that's a lot. It's a lot. That was a marathon. I can't believe those players are going to have to do it all again here.
Crazy.
So I made some jokes, of course, about the Aaron Rodgers situation and Sunday and all that stuff. I'm going to ask you an impossible question. What do you think Rodgers was really feeling in terms of animosity, gratitude, a mixture of all those things? I feel like the truth always lies somewhere in the middle. The NBC tried to paint it as oh, he's feeling very nostalgic and gracious and all that. And it's nah, I know that that's not all was there, or at least I think that. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say it's tough to kind of discern, obviously, how he's feeling. But I will say, he struck all the right notes this week in terms of talking about his career in Green Bay and wanting to end up there when everything is said and done. I know he has a great admiration for Jordan Love and Jordan for Aaron as well. But I think, deep down, he's a competitor who wants to win, and he wants to be one of those quarterbacks to beat all 32 NFL teams. And he, again, I think when Brett Favre came in and played his first game against the Green Bay Packers, he beat Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. And so I think, Aaron Rodgers in his first game back against the Packers, of course he wanted to win. I think that's any competitor would be, I don't know if they'd be telling the truth that they're like, yeah, we were okay with just a moral win. Yeah, he wanted to win.
No.
But, I will say at the end of the day, 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers, as Matt LaFleur said, the old man can still sling it. He can still sling it. But, at the end of the day, you have to have a more complete team. So I know he was disappointed. I know he was not happy with his performance, but I know deep down he probably wanted to kind of say, listen, I got one over on you guys, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that Rodgers was very chummy with all of the former coaches and the former trainers, but apparently did not say anything to Jordan Love. And I felt like, okay, he's locked in. I didn't think that was disrespectful or anything like that. I was just like, okay, like he came here to win. And this is not just a nostalgia tour. This is not just anything like that. He wanted to win. Let's be honest. Like he wanted to win. And I think the most animosity that he has is for Brian Gutekunst, and Brian Gutekunst does not play nose tackle. He does not play linebacker. He does not play safety. He does not play corner. Right. So there's only so much that can be done there. Do you think like in a year or 2 years, he said, I'm going to retire as a Packer. It sounds like this is going to be his last year, although the Steelers seem to be open to bringing him back. We'll see what that looks like. Is there, if and when Rodgers retires, is there going to be a sort of public reconciliation and prodigal son return sort of thing here? Like in 3 or 4 years, 5 years, maybe when they hang his jersey in the rafters, put his name on the Ring of Honor, which is going to happen. Like he's going to get a 100% approval rating in that stadium, right?
I'd say so. Again, it's unfortunate how things ended. I know he wanted to play his whole career in Green Bay. It just didn't happen. The Packers moved on, and it is what it is now. But I think eventually one day when he does hang it all up and calls it a career, I think he will get a standing ovation when he comes back to Green Bay. That, that number will be up there. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's what it's going to be whenever he's done. So I think, he will hopefully embrace his return to Green Bay. And I think the fans will love it when he is back one day, when he does retire as a Packer. And, it is fun. It's just funny because I know even on Sunday night, it was, people who are fans of the Packers, they're also a fan of Aaron Rodgers and they root for him and the Steelers on Sundays when they're not playing the Packers. And I feel like, some people I know are kind of conflicted, like, who do I root for? I'm a Packer fan, but I also love Aaron Rodgers. So, I think at the end of the day,
for the Brett Favre stuff, I think even more so. I think there were even more fans that were like, because the act of Benedict Arnold that you had to engage in to buy a 4 purple jersey was real. And so I think it caused a lot of acrimony, and I think that incentivizes some people to go, yeah, then I'm going to do this. Right. But that part of it is, it had to have just been so surreal, Lily, at the end of the game for him to hear "Go Pack Go," and how many times in his career did he, in a Packers jersey, go to Arizona, Dallas, these other places where it would bring you life to hear a "Go Pack Go" chant on the road, and now he's that guy. Like the whole night must have been just totally surreal for him, and I don't know how he dealt with it. Let's flip this around though, because we did exactly the thing that I told myself I wouldn't do. The whole week last week, it was Aaron Rodgers. And everyone forgot Jordan Love is like the next guy in Green Bay. And Jordan Love played like Aaron Rodgers on Sunday, like the old Aaron Rodgers. And this felt like something different. This felt like the best version of Jordan Love that maybe we've ever seen. What stood out to you about Jordan Love's performance on Sunday?
Yeah, it was kind of like watching the vintage Aaron Rodgers, but then it was a guy with a number 10 jersey that was not Aaron Rodgers. It was a guy in a green and gold jersey that wasn't Aaron Rodgers. So it was, let's just put it this way. Packers fans are blessed with their last 3 quarterbacks. And I think this was, again, Jordan Love is still very early on in his Packers career. He still has many years to build a quote unquote legacy in Green Bay. But I think the way he played in front of his predecessor in a game that has been hyped all offseason, especially all week, all eyes on him to say, how are you going to perform against the guy you replaced? This guy is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's won a Super Bowl. He's won multiple MVPs. How do you stack up against him? And I think he's stacked up extremely well. that second half performance, I think the best we've seen him play. He was spectacular. That 20 straight completion mark that only Brett Favre had done in a Packers jersey, spectacular. And the thing is, he can get even better. I mean, this is still a young quarterback who was a lot ahead of him. So I think in terms of what he did on Sunday, can't be understated. And this is a performance I hope he can use moving forward to say, I can bank on this and get even better. But I thought we saw a phenomenal version of Love on Sunday.
Do you think it affects the way the Packers move forward here? That it affects the way Matt LaFleur calls the offense for Jordan Love to prove, hey, in a game where we're down 2 scores at halftime, by the way, through no fault of Jordan Love was excellent in the first half. They missed 2 field goals. It could have easily been, a field goal game at halftime. But that it did seem like he called the game differently in the second half when they needed it. Could we see a change now moving forward? Like, hey, maybe balance when you're not running the ball effectively is a better option, or is it's better to just let Jordan Love throw it if we're not going to run the ball effectively.
Yeah, I think so. And I think, also having Christian Watson back kind of changed things as well for this offense. But I do agree. I do think that if you can kind of let Jordan Love cook and let him just go out there and sling the football, if your run game just can't find its footing, I think that's the way you got to go. You can't be that conservative on 2nd and 10 with those inside runs, which I know you predicted, Peter. If you can just kind of let your quarterback cook, that's the best version of this offense so far. And listen, there are a plethora of weapons that he can throw to, and I know guys want their touches. They're going to be out there, but I think you got to let Jordan Love throw that football.
We've got more with Lily Zhao talking a little Panthers coming up next. Trap game.
I'm Cody Rourke from Locked On Broncos, and this episode is brought to you by Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. This is Peloton's most advanced equipment yet, giving you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or you're cross-training with your favorite instructors like Alex Toussaint. It's training reimagined to make your workout more personal. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with features that help you plan, stay motivated, and hit peak performance. You can let yourself run, lift, flex, and go while Peloton handles all the rest. Plus, Peloton IQ provides real-time strength coaching, tracking your progress and suggesting weights that challenge you so you can get stronger. Plus, the new movement tracking camera, it counts your reps and corrects your form in real time, making sure every rep is safer and smarter. So let yourself run, lift, flex, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
You do. I love that you dropped plethora in there. One of my favorites. One of the things that has been percolating here on Packers socials is the role of Matthew Golden. And there were a couple times on Sunday, Jordan had him and either wasn't looking or didn't pull the trigger. I almost think it's disingenuous to frame it as a concern level, because I don't think anyone should be concerned about Matthew Golden at this point. But would you like to see more opportunities for him? And I guess we have to ask the follow-up question is, if you do, what does it come at the expense of? Because there is only one football.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think you have so many weapons. You have Tucker Kraft, you have Christian Watson coming back. Excuse me. You have Romeo Doubs, who's, been a security blanket for Jordan Love. Yep. You have Dontavian Wicks, who's out injured right now, but when he comes back, how many targets does he get? Same with Jaden Reed. And then you have Matthew Golden. It's a good problem to have, but at the same point, it's how do we distribute the ball, in the best way? But I will say at the end of the day, obviously Matt LaFleur's not going to say our game plan is to make our guys happy. It's to win. And whichever the best matchup is, that's who's going to get the football. And I'm sure this is for me, not what I expected to see in terms of production from Matthew Golden this early in the year. I thought he would have at least a couple touchdowns by now, but that's just not how it's happened. But LaFleur is not going to force feed players. That's just not how he is with his offense. So, I do think it's a little bit different of how do you kind of get him engaged? They got him engaged early in the game, but then you didn't really see him called that much. And then of course there could have been a touchdown, like you mentioned, had Jordan seen him, but, I will say I just didn't predict that Savion Williams would have had his first career touchdown before Matthew Golden. But that being said, I'm hoping we see that happen soon.
I don't think we're going to go back and look at this season and go, what a disappointment. Like, he's got 21 catches already. We're not even technically, in terms of games played, halfway through the season. So, if he ends with 50 catches, that's going to be a good season, I think. And if he ends up with 50 catches, it's going to be for like 750, 800 yards because he's going to average 15 yards a catch here eventually, or better. And so I think the best of Matthew Golden is in front of him. I compared it on socials yesterday. I pointed out that Devontae Adams, through his first 7 games as a sophomore, had almost the exact same number of total yards, total touches as Matthew Golden has as a rookie. So like, I know people want the guy to be Justin Jefferson, or they see a Emeka Egbuka or Brian Thomas Jr. and go, I want that. That's usually not how this works. I do want to ask you though about your concern level with Brandon McManus, because he misses 2 kicks. He's got the injury. And I think that this would be a different question, Lily, if we hadn't seen Lucas Haversek look so good in 2 games, kick a 61-yarder that would have been good from, 65. This I feel like there's a discussion to be had here, isn't there?
I think so. I think, you can't discount what Brandon McManus did, right? When he first came to the Packers, what he did those first 2 weeks. I mean, he was spectacular. He's been spectacular, but then he gets injured. But to that point, though, I mean, Matt LaFleur was kind of asked about it, and he said, kickers miss kicks. It is what it is. It's the NFL. But, I don't think they're going to trot him out there if he can't kick, because the part that is injured is his quad, which you need to have healthy to be hurt. And so
you need your leg muscles to kick the ball.
Right.
Surprise.
I don't think you're going to trot him out there and say, okay, his quad's fine, but it's not. And then he's going to kick these really lengthy field goals. So I think this Sunday will be a big indicator of, okay, A, who's active, and B, if it's McManus, can he make his kicks? And if not, then the discussion has to be had, because at this point of the season, you can't afford to be having a kicker issue when you have a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. And so they kind of got to get that figured out. But that being said, Brandon McManus rebounded in the second half. He got 2 more kicks for them, made all his extra points. So hopefully that's something he can build off next week.
I've been floating my low stakes conspiracy theory of just put Brandon McManus on IR and give him 4 weeks. And, let's see what Lucas Haversek has for the next month, and then go from there, because this is a Super Bowl team. You want the proven guy, right? But at the same time, like, maybe this other guy's got something. Maybe he can be maybe he can be the kicker in Green Bay for the next 10 years. Whereas Brandon McManus, 2, 3, there's an interesting, I think, discussion point to be had here. All right. The Carolina Panthers. Are we going to say the 2 dreaded words, trap game? Does this feel like a trap game coming off Aaron Rodgers? And then Philly a week from now, like, this does have all the makings. If you believe in trap games, this has to be what you would consider one. If you believe in that thing, I generally don't. But where do you stand on this?
I think you bring up a good point. I think this will be a very good game to gauge the trajectory of this Packers team. And I mean it by this. You had a phenomenal second half. Can you build that momentum and ride it into another dominating win, again, over a team you're heavily favored to beat on Sunday at home? Or are you going to, quote unquote, play down to competition yet again? I think if we see the latter, this might be the team that the Packers are this year. They will play down to their competition. They will play up to their competition. And fortunately for them, the back end of their schedule, they're going to be playing up quite a bit. It's going to be a very tough slate at the end of the year. Yeah. So I think if they can't come out and beat the horses off Carolina, or just beat them with a solid win, then there are discussions to be had. But I'm hoping it's not a trap game. I'm hoping that they can build off of that second half that they had and just really flourish against a Panthers team they should beat handily.
I think that, to your point, you're testing the focus of your team. Like, we know the Packers are better than the Panthers. We don't even need to play the game to know that for sure, but they play the game precisely because on any given Sunday, we know anything can happen. And we've seen weird things happen. We saw the Panthers beat the daylights out of the Atlanta Falcons, who comfortably beat the Buffalo Bills, who are a Super Bowl team. So, like, we know weird things can happen all the time. It will be a test of focus, I think, more than anything. And so that brings me to, if the Packers are going to keep that focus and keep the pedal down on this season, who is the player that's going to help carry them there?
Good question. I mean, I always kind of have to say the offense. I feel like the defense has done enough. They've done enough to keep their offense in games, but there have been some sputtering series. where the offense has been up and down, but then they kind of figure it out when they need to. But there have been some mental mistakes, like in that Browns game, it was just one of those games, right? So I think it's up to Jordan Love just to lead the offense and say, listen, we just got to be consistent for 4 straight quarters. I think if your offense can just operate at a continually high level, your defense can match that for the entire game. So I'd say Jordan Love and that offense has to step it up here.
Yeah, Packers lead the league in not turning it over this season. That's the key to me. Just don't turn the ball over. If you're playing an inferior opponent, the quickest way to keep them in the game, to let them in the game, is to turn the ball over. We saw it against the Bengals. The Packers march right down the field. Jordan Love turns it over in field goal range. Like, those are plays that can swing games. Don't let them. Don't let them. Don't beat yourselves because this team can't beat you if you don't. So that's where I am with this. Lily, we will talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, Peter.
All right. Thanks to Lily for joining the show. Always great to talk with her. Back tomorrow, our Locked On Packers, Locked On Panthers crossover Thursday coming up here on our Thursday show. So plenty of fun to be had there. And then tonight, 7 p.m., Lambeau time on YouTube. We've got our Locked On Packers squad show. You guys have been coming in strong numbers for that, and I love it. I love it. Brandon Snide, Jeff Jagosinski, former Packers coach, joins us for that. We got off the stream on Sunday night, and I said to the guys, who has more fun talking ball than we do? I mean, it's just such a pleasure to be with those guys, and I hope it comes through in our discussions. I personally think it does. Follow me on all the social medias. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you get podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube so you can come hang out with us on our squad show. We'll be live after the game as well, so you can stay Locked On Packers.